There are a lot of tuners out there, and more often than not, tuners work on volume product. LS engines, BMW Turbo 6s, Subarus, and on and on. It's in the best interest of a business, traditionally, to specialize in products that lots of people want to buy. Then, there's Busy as Rioja.
My name is BC Rioja. I'm the owner and founder of this facility here in Ontario, California, Bisimoto Engineering. The philosophy of Bisimoto Engineering is to build very unique creations where reliability is key.
In his shop, you won't see any traditional builds because that's not what this Nigerian immigrant does. Busy loves the unloved. His mission, to prove the potential of otherwise forgotten engines. A single-cam, naturally aspirated Accord engine making 450 wheel horsepower in a Honda Insight? Or how about the world's fastest Hyundai Genesis 3.8 making over 1,000 horsepower at the tires? Busy is an engine builder first and foremost, and all it takes to know this man means business is one push of the throttle in his Porsche.
When I drove the Sharkworks GT2 with 660 wheel horsepower, I said that was the scariest car I've ever driven. This beats it by a country mile. With a little love from Busy, some big turbos, and a lot of R&D work, this car weighs 2,400 pounds and makes as much power at the wheels as a McLaren P1.
The vehicle started out as a 1976 shell of a wide-body Porsche 911 Carrera. And what we did was bring it back here to Bisimoto Engineering and from scratch build everything. But since at Bisimoto Engineering we are advocates of modern technology, we took the not-so-loved M96 engine, 3.0 liter, and impregnated it into this classic beautiful chassis, twin turbocharged it, reinforced all the shortcomings of the engine, and was able to extract astronomical reliable power from it.
Believe it or not, this is the second round of turbos for this car. The first round was bigger, and Busy took them out because the car scared him and he thought he was going to die. Now with the smaller turbos, the car is scaring me and I feel like I'm going to die. In 1976, when this car was new and stock, it earned the nickname Widowmaker. And how do you think quadrupling the power has affected that?
The turbos on this vehicle is one that's very unique, but the sizing that's impeccable to give us power on demand. It is a billet turbo from Turbonetics. The compressor size is a 58mm, while the exhaust wheels are 57. It has the capability of getting us into the 4 digits, but because the vehicle is so light, we stopped at the 800 range. I utilize a boost per speed protocol. And what that means is at lower speeds, you have a lower boost threshold. And as you go up in speeds, the boost comes on stronger. So it makes the vehicle very enjoyable, very manageable to drive.
Dude, this car is scary as f***. So on the one hand, it does have brakes from a Carrera, it does have coilover suspension, it does have very wide and very sticky tires. On the other hand, this is a fundamentally flawed chassis that has been given more horsepower than it has any business having. Because it's not just that it gets squirrely under power, it's that it gets squirrely when you lift, and then it gets squirrely when you brake, and then it gets swirly when you corner, and then it gets swirly when you go straight again. I will give it points in that it looks fucking badass. This car looks mean as hell from every angle. I love that he's chosen to hang the turbos off like a pair of nuts off the back of the car. And in terms of technology, it's really cool. It's not just the twin turbos. This car runs CAN bus, it runs throttle by wire, and it runs a bunch of other stuff that you only really see in modern Porsches. This entire car is powered by like 3 wires.
At Bisimoto Engineering, being able to experiment is our forte. So if you wanted something that really adheres to the classic lines of a 911, and you also embrace modern technology, this vehicle is the epitome of such symbiotism. And that's how we learn here at Bisimoto Engineering. Experimentation, delving into the unknown, trying to find better ways of doing what we currently do.
And make no mistake, I am a fan of Busy, but I really mean it this time. We have found what too much is. Too much. If what you're looking for is something absolutely pants-ly terrifying every time you get in it, this is about as hairy as it gets. It's scary, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's say you want a Bisimoto engine, but in a car that's not so scary. Maybe you want something that the kids could enjoy. Let's see what he can build for that.
Every year, Honda has a great presence at the SEMA show in Las Vegas, and they look forward to Bisimoto Engineering helping them with some excellent project cars that can bring tons of attention to their booth. The 2014 Odyssey behind me was no exception. In 2014, Honda did not have a new vehicle, so what did they do? They asked what we would like to build. I became a new father, I still love speed, have an expanding family. What better to build than an Odyssey? And guess what? We got the 1029 horsepower, and she is a frightening blast to drive.
I will admit myself that when I saw this car at SEMA, I thought there was no way it was possible. After seeing Team Odyssey in one lap of America and their 500 horsepower van, I thought there's no way that you could double that power and have this thing hold together. But it seems that this one does do just that. Things to notice. Well, it slammed on bags, which for a sports car, clearly not the ideal setup. However, for a minivan, you can hard park it and it rides pretty good. Also, manual gearbox conversion. This comes out of the Acura TL and is theoretically a lot stronger than the automatic that this thing came with, and also, well, frankly, a lot more fun.
We had to go with an Acura TL Type S gearbox with a limited slip differential from factory. Now, there is a secret to that as well. If you have a very sticky tire compound, you will destroy the drivetrain. So with that kind of power, what do you need to do? With the AM EMS, we have a boost per gear. So each gear, starting with 13 PSI and going up and up and up to 40 PSI in the 6th gear, allows us to have a pseudo traction control and keep things safe. And above and beyond that, instead of using R888s or some type of R compound, we have Toyo T1 Sport tires, which gives a nice interface between adhesion and keeping things safe.
Ooh, a tunnel. Let's hear what that sounds like. I feel like I'm in the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm in a giant van. The sound of it is ridiculous. Plus, I'm hearing that. I'm looking at this race pack gauge cluster. I'm using a very stiff clutch, and yet everywhere I look is van. Dude, this car, okay, it needs bigger brakes, and I'd like some kind of a sport setting on the air ride. But besides that, if you look up winner in the dictionary, you're gonna get a picture of this van.
It's unnatural because you have this huge mass around you. It's a lot of car. But with the electronics at our disposal, with the AM Infinity, and being able to really have the boost per gear, it makes it very enjoyable. And that's what you want. You want an enjoyable car. You can have 1,000 horsepower, but if it's not enjoyable, it's useless. You want to be able to enjoy your car properly. And today's technology allows us to do that.
There is not a single question in my mind that this man knows how to build a bonkers race engine, no matter how unloved the starting platform. You give him your crap engine that no one makes parts for, and he'll hand back a 4-figure monster that sounds like a great idea, but in the real world, away from the internet, is just too much of everything. I like to say that you can get used to anything, no matter how ridiculous, but I just can't see myself getting used to this stuff. Well, okay, I can't get used to the Porsche. That thing is terrifying. The van, I will take exactly as is, because that is perfect.